Hello, brothers and sisters. This is Brother Lewis coming to you at the beginning of week 10. Almost there. Just want to start out with a quick spiritual thought and then go do an overview of the material for this week, upcoming week. So, on our studies of Matthew 8, Mark 2 through 4, and Luke 7. We read a lot about Christ and his healing power, both healing the sick temporally, but also us spiritually. And then I wanted to focus here a little bit on how he brings peace in the midst of life's storms. And I've often experienced this personally, where there's lots of things going on around me. Lots of things seem to be converging, demands, requirements, just the ongoing grind of life, right? But Christ has a much broader perspective than us. And I think when we take the time to just, in that moment of chaos, we take the time to look to him, he does bring a significant amount of peace to us. And we find that here, in the story of the disciples being on the boat, storm is raging around them. And like, what's going to happen? Was it, Master, carest thou not that we perish? Of course he cares. But the reality is that these storms and these life circumstances that surround us are but a small part of the overall plan, and they really are here just to test whether or not we'll be patient with each other, whether or not we'll be peacemakers, whether or not we'll be able to endure to the end. And in the end, everything's cast away and peace reigns once again. So I think that's quite an analogy to our life in general, that while dealing with the day-to-day issues is what we have to do, it's really just a test of how we are going to handle them. And in the end, all will be fine. Just as our sins will be washed away as long as we rely on him, so all these chaotic moments in our lives, we'll look back in retrospect and be able to see how they were just so insignificant in reality, and we just made them more than they really are. Not to say that there's some that aren't significant, but certainly it's some challenges that people face that life-threatening or even just question your faith type of challenges. But in the end, we'll figure out how to deal with them and be the stronger because of it. So with that in mind, next week is coming up on us pretty quick, right? And we have a third exam, right? This exam cover the last two chapters that we've dealt with, chapters 4 and 5. So really the sales cycle. How do you record sales transactions? How do you value inventory and then move it from assets to expenses? Excuse me. And so this will be a 50 question exam worth 100 points. It is due on the 12th. Let's see, they'll do until, March 11th, actually. So it should be due on the 8th. Due on the 8th. So it's Wednesday, the 8th. So make sure you prepare for it well, and then take it on time, right? I will not be available on Tuesday to do office hours, but if you do have any specific questions that I haven't covered in prior videos, go ahead and shoot me a question. I'll see if I can post a video before that. I'm flying all day Tuesday, but Monday I will be available to address any concerns and pop something up. But for the most part, the videos that are up there should address either the sales side of things or the inventory costing side of things. And so then all you have to do really is just go back to the announcements and find the guide for the exam. Actually, I'll just post it in this announcement so you don't have to go searching for it. I'll post the guide for the exam, and you'll be able to go through and just double check that you're familiar with the concepts that are going to be tested, and can work through that. Otherwise, see it go back here on the modules. The rest of this week is pretty straightforward, right? Just finishing up the quiz, access and the quiz, and the financial statement analysis. And then once you get done with the exam next week, then you'll be working through the starting part of chapter 7. Now, chapter 7, I have a video out there already that's does an overview. I'll post the playlist on here again, like I did last week. That'll help you out through this. But chapter 7 really is just going through receivables. So you've sold stuff, now you have to go collect it. Or if you can't collect it, what happens when you have to write it off, right? So things where people bought something from you, paid it for it on credit, and then they're not going to pay for it. And so how do you deal with that? So there's 2 different methods of doing that, direct and allowance. And then how do you estimate your bad debts going forward? This one is a little tricky on the side of understanding what these 2 different methods are and how to approach it. And then also it's a little tricky on estimating bad debts. So you want to spend some time on going through those 3 different areas, right? But the actual valuing of receivables is pretty straightforward. Because it's basically whatever you've sold. With that, I think that's all I got. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a great upcoming week. Take care.